Tommy, it's great to have you here, man.
Oh, I am honored to be on your podcast.
Have you already caught up with your workout today, or this is just kind of where
I've worked out today. I did legs today. I wanted to do biceps and triceps since I'd be sitting on your podcast, but I decided to stick to the program because that is what you would have told me to do.
Now, let me ask you, when you're working out, is there like any particular time of day that you're trying to do that? Or is it just how you start your day off? Do you have to get your morning run?
In a perfect world, I would work out within 45 minutes of waking up. That is like my favorite thing. That's when I'm at my best.
Yeah.
Every hour that goes by after I've opened my eyes, the workout gets worse and worse. So during the weekdays, I work out whenever I can because client sessions are typically 5 a.m. through 9 a.m.
Damn.
And then you get that 10 a.m. window.
Yeah.
So usually it's around like 10:30 or 2:30. But every day things change. Clients, busy schedules, meetings come up, you shift people around. So I get whatever block is there for me that day.
So, I mean, in a perfect world, bulk of your clients are typically very early morning from about 5 a.m. to like 10 or something like that, right? And then you get that midday, it just becomes quiet. You have lunch, do whatever it is that you need to do. And then, at least for me, I get a good chunk of clients again starting at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., could be even 7 p.m. because everyone's trying to come in after work, right? So your days can be so long if you're just trying to see as many people as possible.
Of course.
How do you balance that?
Well, at first, I mean, when you are starting a personal training business in New York City or any business, when you go off on your own and the only income that you're going to get is the income that you go out and get, there's no balance. Like you have to take what you can get.
That's right.
Because you need to feel secure, right? So when I first started out, I was taking people at 5 a.m. I was taking people at 7:30 p.m. Now I have some smaller boundaries, but you find a way to make it work.
That makes sense. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, first, I just want to say, we have a really good relationship and we've done a lot of work together over the years. And I really admire the work that you've done in building your personal brand and the community that you've built in such a short time. It's really freaking awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Kind of reminds me of when I first got out of physical therapy school. I didn't start my business right away because I didn't even think of business. I just thought, all right, I got out of PT school. How do I pay off my loans?
Yeah.
And obviously I got out right before COVID. So I had worked for about a year and then suddenly COVID hit and I was furloughed. By that point I had worked at various clinics. I had very good experiences. I really enjoyed what I was doing, but when you're on your own and you're furloughed and you're working from home and rehabbing ACL reconstruction surgeries on Zoom and just doing a ton of telehealth and doing a ton of home visits and then working in different gyms, I kind of found myself like, oh, wow, I'm like an entrepreneur. I'd never really thought about that.
Yeah.
But it was so awesome because I got to build on my vision. There was so much I wanted to do, but I just never really thought about it because I was building off of someone else's vision. But at that point, I realized like working with people isn't just about how good you are. There's the marketing, there's the building of the website, then there's the CRM system, then there's actually making sure that you're still learning and getting better and better at your craft. And there were so many different things with starting off your business. So with you starting off a personal training business in New York City, and we know that personal trainers are a dime a dozen. They're everywhere. How do you go about that? How did you start?
Well, if we're going back to my first personal training job, I was 18 years old, or was I? No, I was 21.
Okay.
Right. I had just gotten sober.
Okay.
For those listening and watching, I had been sober from alcohol for 7 years, in April. And
Amazing.
fitness is what really kind of got me out of that. So I was like really obsessed with fitness. I was taking classes in college and I decided that it would be a great way to make money doing something that I actually was passionate about.
What were you studying in college?
I was studying social work.
Okay.
So people, both people jobs.
Yeah, that's great because I feel like that builds a foundation with being able to work with people. Most people that I know that are studying social work, I mean, I don't think they're doing it just to do it. There's some sort of empathy that they're able to have with the people that they're going to work with. I think that comes from somewhere deep.
And personal trainers know this, that some of your sessions end up just becoming therapy sessions.
Absolutely.
I'm not a therapist, but there's some people you come in and
say it how it is.
Talk about, their lives with them.
Yeah.
You help them out that way.
Yeah.
But I started off at a Blink Fitness. It was just supposed to be this like side job that I was going to make money through college doing.
Yeah.
But then I really enjoyed it. And I kind of figured that I was pretty decent at it.
Yeah.
I was able to get clients in the gym, and I decided that this is something that like I really want to try, right? So I was like, I'm going to give this my all for a couple of years. And then if it's feasible, I will keep doing it. If it doesn't work out, like if it's not like, if I can't make it work financially or I'm too burnt out, whatever the case may be, I'll just go back to social work. So.
Okay. So you had something to fall back onto, right?
Yes.
But at that point, were you already running the show, or you were
not
still
at all.
working?
No,
you're still working at Blink at the time.
I was at Blink Fitness when I decided I wanted to take things more seriously.
Yeah.
I got a job at Equinox.
Okay.
And I moved to the city in this rent control department through a friend of a friend.
It's good to have those.
That was like $1,000 a month, and it was perfect because I was completely broke.
Yeah.
And I was working at Equinox for a couple of years, and then
Which Equinox did you work in?
I was working at Grand Central, Equinox Grand Central.
Okay. All right. We never overlapped because I think I mentioned this too. I'd also worked at Equinox at the Rock Center location. This was right before I started PT school. So
I didn't know that you worked at
I got the Equinox experience. Yeah.
Were you a trainer there?
Yeah, I was a trainer there.
Wow.
Yeah. It was great. It was a good experience. I really liked the Equinox. It was good. But I think it also helped with, you see a different tier, a different level of clientele. These are slightly, not to say higher end, but the gym is obviously, the membership fees definitely demonstrate the type of clientele that's there, and their income and their outlook perhaps. And it was a really good experience.
Yeah. I mean, I remember my sales pitches when I was working at Blink were like, instead of investing in a pair of sneakers, you can get some sessions and train with me. Right? Like you get sneakers to look good.
Yeah.
I'll make you feel good in the things that you wear. Right?
You look better than the sneakers ever will.
But then you go to Equinox and then you're not selling $300 packages anymore. You're selling $3,000 packages.
Exactly.
And I was like, who's going to spend $3,000 on this with me? But like, I was like so new to training. I didn't understand. Like I wasn't seeing the value that was in training and coaching at the time. So like going from Blink to Equinox was definitely like, you learned how to talk to people that could really invest in their health and fitness. So that was like I think that was like Equinox definitely helped me out a lot.
I think you just mentioned something. It helps you talk to a certain type of personality. You connect with a certain personality because you might know what you're doing in terms of developing different systems and a different framework for how you're going to train somebody. But there are different personality types, and some of those personality types are associated with certain titles and positions that people may hold. You know that a CEO of a very big company is probably going to be type A, which means that there's a certain approach you're going to have to take, and perhaps you might not encounter or have exposure to those types of people at certain types of gyms. So I have Equinox to thank for that. But of course, then that comes that level of empathy that you bring to the table.
Of course.
Now, the interesting thing is, which I want to pick your brain on a little bit more, you eventually, you leave the gym setting. It's like you're home, you have your mom and dad taking care of you, and you know that everything's okay. You don't necessarily have to take care of the bills per se. But then when you decide to go on your own, there's a lot of risk, right? You may end up having sleepless nights where you're thinking, well, how do I get my next client? Where are they going to come from?
Of course.
And now I have to pay for marketing or whatnot. Like, what was that like? Because I know that was scary because it was for me.
Yes, there was a lot of sleepless nights and some stress involved in stepping out on my own. But I really took my time with leaving Equinox. I was slowly building my outside business And I was just like, I'm not in a rush to get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not better than you. Like, a lot of people, they think that they're better than the gym they're at,
Right,
and they
yeah.
need to leave right away.
Right.
I was like, I am going to leave Equinox when I feel that like I have something that I feel confident in outside, right? But what
Right.
you find out is that that day might not ever come,
Right.
right? So there was always a part of me that felt like I wasn't ready, but then I just ripped the Band-Aid. And
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm going to do this now. Like, I have a great book of business outside of Equinox, and I know I can make this work. Yeah.
I think at that point, there's so much belief and faith that you have to believe in yourself so much
Mhm.
that you're willing to look at the things in front of you, and logically it might not make sense, but you're betting on yourself that I know that I'm going to get to the other side because my heart is in it.
Mhm.
And funny enough, now there are certain components that you're going to start thinking about. Now, this is going to be an interesting question here. How does a personal trainer who's just starting off their business select a particular price point for their sessions? Where does that come from?
That comes from, well, it depends on what you have to offer,
Right.
right? So when I stepped out on my own, I was working at a big box gym, right? And they had an app, a website. There was programming that people were able to see on their phones so that if they weren't meeting with me, they had video demonstrations of the exercises they were supposed to be doing, the reps, everything was there so that they could step into the gym and not have to think about anything.
Yeah.
So I replicated that same experience,
Okay.
right? So I bought like it wasn't like my own app,
Yeah.
but it was one of those third-party apps that you can like put your logo on.
Right. Yeah.
And then you could put videos and exercises, reps, weights. So I got an app, and then I recorded myself doing maybe like 500-600 exercises
Wow.
with
Wow.
a front desk guy that I used to work with who was like trying to make some extra money, like as like a, recording, and like he was like a cameraman, editor. So there was a lot of time that I put into the app, into the website, and there's a lot of hours that go into that. And then there's also just, you have to understand that like personal training, a good personal trainer isn't somebody that knows the exact exercise that this person should be doing to
Right.
get a certain result.
Yeah.
Right. If it were, you're not getting people who are highly motivated to listen to everything that you have to say and then are following everything that they should when they leave the gym with you.
Yeah. That would be
Right?
the perfect world, which is not always.
Yes. A good personal trainer is also able to motivate somebody, find exercises, and gauge what they're able to accomplish in a session, right? So I understood, I knew my worth, I knew what I was providing outside the time that I was putting into it. So I priced myself at around 150 to 175, also depending on the like I'm going to people's residences.
Yeah.
I'm renting out studios to train people in. So 150, 175, I felt was like a great price point. It was like around the same price as like the big box gyms.
Yeah.
And then a little extra.
Okay. I think that's fair. That definitely makes sense. And that definitely does compete with the market, I think. And then just, obviously we'll talk a little bit about social media and marketing, but before we leave the topic of price points, there are trainers out there, right, that claim they are the best, and they may choose a particular price point of about maybe about $300 to $500 per session. What allows someone like that to what gives them permission to charge that much? Is it some sort of magic that's being performed, especially considering this is someone who's not necessarily hands-on because they are a personal trainer. You're not, a licensed massage therapist or a licensed physical therapist. But as a trainer, what gives someone the ability to charge that much? Is there something magical that can happen during a particular session? Let's say you have 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Does that mean you can start charging a certain amount? And if you do charge that certain amount, where does that come from? What's the rationale?
I mean, if you are good enough at marketing yourself
Right.
that you can make that happen,
Right.
good for you, right? But I think when it gets to a certain point of trainers who have been in the business for 5-10 years plus, who
Yeah.
are like in that 175 and up range, they're, you know, you got to eat a lot of protein. You got to work out. You got to be able to understand what each client needs. I don't think that there is like, if you're spending $300 on a trainer, you could probably get the same results with somebody for 200 who's just as good or better.
I mean, you said it here, Tommy. It's I mean, look, you're going to see a lot of that, especially in the industry. I guess it also comes to the level of marketing. If your marketing is amazing, then you can have a big book of business. Now, I'll tell you this. I know that becoming a personal trainer, you can get a certification over a weekend. Becoming a physical therapist, it took me several years.
Mm-hmm.
However, I've met some very shitty physical therapists, and I've met some brilliant trainers, brilliant. So what accounts for the difference in, it's not always credentials, obviously, right? I think there's something deeper to that. Have you come across that?
Of course. I mean, with personal training, the barrier to entry is very low. So you have people who are not good at their job.
Right.
And then you have people who take it really seriously, do continuing ed.
Right.
They're actually passionate about what they're doing. And it's more than just, there's some people who just were born with a six pack and like hated school. And they were like, oh, I can just like go on ChatGPT and get a personal training cert and then just like do bicep curls and goblet squats with this 70-year-old woman with a herniated disc.
Wait, is that how it is? You can get a certification on ChatGPT?
Not necessarily. I'm saying like, it's a cert. You can take an online cert and you could most likely, I don't want to put this out there, but you could most likely probably answer all of the questions with some sort of AI, ChatGPT or Claude, and then just be out on a gym floor in a couple of months. Of course.
Wow. So is this, when you got into personal training, do you think that it would be a different world today had you gotten in right now at this moment?
What, with like AI and everything?
Yeah, I guess.
For me, no. I got into personal training because I was obsessed with fitness and exercise. Like this was like the one thing that it wasn't like agony for me to like watch videos on, study, like talk about with other people, where I was like, I'm motivated to learn more. I want to be one of the best at my job.
Yeah.
And in New York City, you have no choice but to be good or you will be squashed. The competition is so high.
And that's the thing about New York City. I think that, as much as people may hate New York City, it forces you and molds you into being the best version of yourself, because the market is ultimately going to decide, if you're not providing a certain expertise and you're not providing results, people are going to start putting their money elsewhere. Now, with personal training and establishing a brand today, in your opinion, what do you think about having a social media? Can a business survive and thrive without a social media presence?
I think it would be very challenging in today's day. I mean, if you walk outside and you just put your phone in your pocket, right? Because you're probably staring at your phone when you're outside too.
Right.
We all look at our phones quite a lot. But if you put your phone in your pocket, you just look up. No one's looking up. Everyone's on their phone.
Damn.
So if you're not on their phone popping up,
you got to meet them with it.
How would anybody find you or know that you're a personal trainer? I think social media is one of the best tools. Like, it's unbelievable that, like myself, like I moved to New York City. My mom was like a nurse. My dad's a construction worker. I didn't know any like people that connected me with anybody.
Right.
I just started making videos and posting pictures, and all of a sudden people were messaging me all over Manhattan. Wow. And like, I just think that that's an incredible thing. Like, it really is. That's
the American dream right there. You're kind of building yourself up, and no one really gave you that. I love that, man. That's amazing.
Thank you.
And then the thing about entrepreneurship, right? Everyone would love to become an entrepreneur. Everyone thinks that, You can free your schedule up as much as you want,
Uh-huh.
right? You can go shopping. You can just work from home. You can just do whatever it is that you want to do because, being an entrepreneur means that you have all this freedom. But the reality is what comes with it is you got to do your taxes, right? You got to build a CRM system.
Yeah.
You have to maintain relationships. You have to find various different relationships and build networks, right? You're staying up at night thinking, how am I going to survive tomorrow? And it's just, you're wearing so many hats. There's so much to it.
This is why you were up late last night. Right?
This is exactly, well, actually,
You told me you were up late.
well, actually, why I was up late. And first I want to say, I want to commend you for being so open and transparent about your sobriety journey.
Oh, thank you.
It really is admirable. And I just want to say, that is something I want to talk about a little bit more. I mean, why don't you just go off from there?
Of course. I have been sober for 7 years. It wasn't necessarily it wasn't really like a choice. It was something that I had to do.
Okay.
I was hospitalized a couple of times. I was drinking, every day. Every day I was getting drunk and doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing, right? It wasn't feasible for my lifestyle anymore. I had failed out of school. I had lost jobs.
Wow.
I had lost friends. And then the last time that I was in the hospital, I just remember the way that my mom and my sister and one of my best friends from high school were just looking at me like I was like a zoo animal.
Damn.
And I was like, oh my God, that's when I knew. I was like, this is it. I can't do this anymore.
Damn.
So that is what made me stop drinking. But fitness is what really made me motivated and excited about life again, right? Socializing and going out was my entire life. I lived to have fun. All I wanted to do is go out with friends, talk to people, go to bars, go to parties. And all of a sudden all of that was gone. So it's kind of scary. You're like, what do I do now? What do I like to do? I don't even know what I like to do anymore. So the gym, I told myself I had fallen out of shape and I had liked fitness before, but it kind of just hit, I took a break on that when I was in college going out a lot. I was like, I'm going to go to the gym every time I would have been drunk. That was my funny little joke because it was every day. So I went to the gym every day and that built me discipline. I started feeling good about myself again, right? Because everything else was kind of up in flames, right? I was starting from zero. I was starting from absolute zero. And the gym is where I could go and it's instead of the 10s, I use the 15s today. I'm seeing progress in my life somewhere.
Yeah.
And it also brought me joy. So fitness really, really helped me stay sober. So that is what motivated me to become a personal trainer as well. But I've been 7 years sober. I've started this monthly group class called Barbells Over Bottles, which is a 45-minute group fitness workout with an alcohol-free social hour. So we have them on popular going out nights, like Saturday nights, Friday nights. And it's a place where
You have to
people
sacrifice.
yes, you have to sacrifice, right? It's a place where people can go, I'm mixing my love for fitness and then can socialize with other people without the pressure of alcohol being present in the room.
Yeah.
Because I think it's great to connect with like-minded people, when you are going through something like that.
I think that really speaks to our culture today. How do we connect? I was just working with a few High Rocks athletes, and their form of celebration was, hey, let's all get together at the bar and celebrate that we just completed this competition. And it's oh, we go from that to this,
Uh-huh.
it's it was so interesting, which I took part in it, of course.
Yeah.
But, I can see how it can become such a challenge. And that's what you brought up, that I was out last night late and I didn't get much sleep because I was with a group of friends and I actually conducted an experiment. We're all sitting together.
Mhm.
We're all ordering food.
Mhm.
Everyone's ordering drinks. And I decided to order a Diet Coke.
Nice.
And everyone looked like,
Love a Diet Coke.
what do you mean Diet Coke? Like, what's wrong with you, man?
Yeah.
Like, nothing. I'm just ordering a Diet Coke. And even the bartender was like, do you mean a Coke and rum? I was like, no, a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And it just, you start to feel almost, you feel like socially it might impact you, right? So like there's a certain crowd that might enable a certain behavior.
Of course.
And if you choose to change your behavior patterns, you're now not, naturally you won't affiliate with a certain crowd of people. Did you find that you started losing friends when you started making that change, or you were now exposed to a different group of people, or people started turning away from you because you weren't doing what they were doing?
Of course. I mean, I had a group of, I had some friendships that maybe weren't friendships. They were just drinking buddies, but I also had some good friends who I stayed friends with. But yeah, I mean, when I was first getting sober, all my friends loved going out too, because I would go out and party and drink with them. I was 21, that's what a lot of people do at that age. So I couldn't put myself in those situations for at least I think it was 8 months. It was it was April. So I got sober April 2nd, and then New Year's Eve that year was the first year I went out and put myself into a party environment.
Yeah.
But I had felt so confident in my lifestyle choice at that point that I wasn't thinking oh, I can't drink right now. It was I just don't. And that's okay. It's not a problem.
I think you could even replace the alcohol with any other particular drug that somebody else might be addicted to. But, I feel like.
And you'll think that you're missing out.
Yeah.
But that first time that you go out with your friends, and then you're sober, and then you're in the same room, and they're like, last night was a movie, but you're there watching it. It's not a movie.
It's like
everybody,
you become self-aware.
You're almost just oh, this is fun, but this is not the alcohol definitely makes it more fun, but
right.
You're not necessarily missing out on these crazy experiences. Yeah. At least that's what I have observed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the deeper question from that is, obviously there was an addiction and there's alcohol. Was alcohol the problem, or was it covering something else? Was it covering up particularly? Is something in particular, something deeper? Did you ever?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, there was I loved drinking. From the second, the first time I got drunk, I was 13. I was like, this is the best. I'm having so much fun. I loved it, right? But then, I wasn't, I don't think that I had I didn't feel like I had a calling to something.
Yeah.
I'd go out and party, and that's what I thought that that was what I lived for.
Yeah.
In school, I would sit down and I would be all right, it's Monday. So 4 more days till Friday, then Tuesday, Friday's getting closer. I wasn't paying attention because there wasn't anything that I saw a future. So yes, I think alcohol was fun, but then, my lifestyle choices also, there was, all my friends were going off to these good schools.
Right.
I was not working as hard as them. So I think that I was drinking a lot more because I was probably, I was feeling I was oh no, I didn't make the right choices, and now I'm behind.
Yeah.
But it's easier to just go out and forget about it. Right. So I think yes and no. I drank because it was a lot of fun, but then I started drinking a lot more when things started falling apart.
I see.
Yeah.
So that was your vice,
yeah.
You would run away from something and that would be your best friend.
Yes.
And now your best friend is working out.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I think the other remarkable thing is watching someone transform, right? When someone decides to lose weight, or someone decides to quit smoking, or they quit drinking, they almost become this entirely new person.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the question with that is, are they becoming a new person, or is that really who they always were before? Like, do you transform into something different?
That's a good question. I mean, I think yes and no. I think you become the best version of you. Like when I first got sober, there's this, I might be messing up the name of the term, but
We'll find it.
I think it's called the pink cloud.
Okay.
It's when you first get sober and you feel really good and you
Yeah.
have these insanely high aspirations because you're like, I can conquer the world now.
Right.
So I was in social work, right? So I was like, I'm going to become a psychiatrist, right? And I was in community college. I've accumulated like no credits, had no idea like the path to becoming a doctor, but I was like, I can do this, right? Hey, maybe I could have done it, right? If I put my mind to it. But yes, over a couple of months, I was like, like I found fitness. I love fitness.
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily super motivated to be a doctor anymore, but you're really like, I felt like I could do anything. Like when I
Yeah.
got sober and like my life started getting like when I started feeling better about myself, like I started to feel like my old self again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you become a new person, but you're also just more of like just a better version of who you already were.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think building off of that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but that essentially becomes a part of your identity.
Mhm.
And perhaps that's also why you may find yourself succeeding in your business because you realize what it takes to deal with hardship. And I'm
Yes.
a true believer that adversity builds character,
Mhm.
right? So when you're dealing with something that challenging and you get through it, it's like a muscle that you're training. And you know that when I am going to face adversity again, like come at me because I am ready for you. It's going to be challenging. It's going to be tough, but I will get to the other side.
Mhm.
And when you could take that same approach to a client that is with you and they're there to lose weight or get stronger or any of those other goals, but you also realize they have some other limitation that's present that's preventing them from reaching that. You're there not just as a trainer, but you kind of are, and I guess I don't want to necessarily put another profession in here, but you are their therapist, you're their counselor, you're their advisor, you're their coach. You're talking to them through all the life's problems that they're dealing with, because I would assume most of the time when a client is with you, they're not just silent and awkward and you're just training them. I mean, that would be strange, but there's a conversation that's happening.
Yeah.
You're there with them for like 45 minutes to an hour.
Mhm.
They're bound to share something personal, right? Like my barber, I go to the barber shop once a week. I will forever go to that barber. And that's because, are there perhaps different barbers or different stylists or anything out there? Absolutely. No one's better than him.
Mhm.
But the reason no one's better than him is because we have a relationship. He knows everything, right? So when I see him, he's like a therapist. And I feel like our clients look at us that way as well. They want someone to talk to, and that's totally fine. And I think the journey that you've been taking with sobriety adds to that value, and that's probably why people see you, whether you realize that or not.
No,
That's gonna continue.
I realize that 100%. You see this a lot with like a lot of recovering addicts.
Yeah.
When they get sober, a lot of them really excel either in their careers, business, athletics,
Yeah.
because I think that there's something in us that like wants like to feel
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
want to like work hard towards something. We want to like experience life full. There's like that, I'm sure you've seen like that meme that's like, oh, are you feeling like you're like feeling lazy today? But it's like, are you feeling lazy and that you can't accomplish anything? Like that crackhead who had $0, do you think he like just said, oh, I have no money, I'm not going to have any crack? No, he gets crack. And that's true. Like any addict like has that mindset. It's like, I'm not going to quit. Like I've already been at like such a low point. Like I can dig myself out of anything.
So essentially, to succeed in fitness, you need to have the mindset of a crackhead.
In a way.
In a way.
Yes.
How can you market
Crack
that?
would be helpful, I guess. The hours that you'll be awake. But don't do it.
Don't do it. Dude, I love that, man. That's really good. Where do you see yourself with your business in the next 5 years?
Oh man. I toggle with that all the time. I just keep trying to make my personal training right now, like the services that I provide.
Yeah.
How can I provide more? How can I keep up with the latest, the latest studies that are coming out, the latest technology that I can use to help my clients. But right now I've been mentoring, like I've been having fun. I have a couple contractors leads were coming in and I was tired of saying, no, I don't have any space. I wanted to start bringing people on to my team, as you have done as well. So I have 2 trainers that work for me now that I give leads to. And that's been really fun. I actually have a lot of fun taking on somebody who I can see myself a little bit in. Like they're like, I want to be a personal trainer. I want to make this work. And then I can now share the knowledge that I've learned over these years, and help motivate them and guide them on a path.
How awesome is that? It's like we were just learning until yesterday. I mean, in fact, we're still learning, right? The learning never ends. And here we are now kind of like passing it on to the next, not generation, but like the next line of people. It's like, all right, now we're the teachers. And I mean, I feel like it was just yesterday when I started, and it's just so humbling that that's something that we can do.
Yeah.
But then it remains, you are the face of your brand, and a lot of people know you for you, right? Like, I want to work with Tommy because he's the man. How do you deal with that when someone's
well, when you're looking to add somebody to your team, there's so much more than like, let me see, like here's a case study of Susan, who's 53. She had a torn ACL last year. And she hasn't been fit. Like what program would you write? There's so much more to that. And I think finding people who are good who have the ability to be with a client and understand and read them and say like, oh, okay, this person, he's been working really hard. He just got this promotion. He's sleeping 5 hours and he had a son, 8 months ago. This guy's not operating at his 100%, but I could find exercises and I can find a way to push him, but not hard enough that he's leaving these sessions feeling defeated and bad. I think what's most important when bringing people onto your team is people who are able to work with clients and those clients leave the gym feeling good in some way.
Right. Like they don't feel like that you're lying to them or kind of throwing anybody at them just to kind of get it done and they're just a number.
And there's also so many egos in the fitness industry.
So many.
And a lot of like super just jacked, testosterone, like this is the only way that you should be working out. Like you need to be flexible and you need to need to be able to adapt. And like, if you're able to adapt and not be so like, this is my belief and this is like the only way this client should get to point X, like you'll do well.
But on the flip side, somehow those people succeed, right? Somehow those testosterone and closed-minded approaches, somehow they still have a book of clients. But I know that that's not how I want to operate. I know that's not how you operate.
Do those clients get results though?
That's a great question. Yeah. That's a great question. I mean, look,
some people need it. Like, people are looking for what they need. And as you know, you got to be whoever the person you're with for that hour. You be who you need them to. I am whoever
they need you to be.
Need me to be. Yeah.
So you're a chameleon. Uh-oh.
Hey, people will be like, well, that's fake. Like, are you not being you? No, I think that our personalities, there's a spectrum of who I am.
There's a
and
spectrum.
I can lean into, I can be fluid in where, where certain parts of my personality are more exaggerated and certain parts are more reduced. I think that that's totally okay. I don't
So-
think that that means that you're not being you. I think that you're just learning how to
Yeah.
turn on certain parts of you
Yeah.
and turn off others.
So then that begs the question, empathy, right? Empathy, I believe empathy is what's going to set you apart
Yeah.
as a successful coach, therapist, trainer. But empathy, is that something that's inherent to us? Is that something you can learn, right? Because you can be the best therapist and trainer and have all the certifications, but if there's an individual in front of you that you can't connect with because you lack empathy, what happens from there?
Due to somebody's lack of empathy, you're saying like a trainer.
Yeah, the trainer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that anybody can become more empathetic, and I think that you become more empathetic through your own life experiences, right? So maybe for that person who's not empathetic to the person in front of them, maybe they're not meant to connect with each other yet.
Right.
And that's okay. Yeah.
So basically, the more hardships and the more adversity you faced as a therapist or trainer, the more successful you'll be in empathizing.
Oh, yeah. You fail upward.
Okay.
You know?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. And I think a lot of people are so afraid of failure.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like you don't, especially in today's world with social media, you know, you open up your feed and all you'll see is, you know, this person's out partying, or that one is on a yacht, or that one's driving a certain car, or that one has a certain watch. It's like you're driven to think that success is your only option.
Yeah. And that you're behind the ball.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, it doesn't even matter how old you are, how much money you have in the bank. That mindset could still be present. So mindset becomes everything. And a lot of the time, even with physical therapy, I'm not just sitting there and working on someone's joints and muscles. I'm helping them reframe their mindset because, you know, I came in today and I feel better. Everything is great. But the moment I leave, everything gets worse. You know, I can't pay my bills, or I had this happen to me, or I have this. Why am I here? What am I doing? And it's just like everything just becomes so negative.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have energy vampires in your presence.
Yeah. To those people, I say, why are you here?
Right.
Yeah. You can leave. Walk out.
Well, were you saying that? Were you saying that when you started your business?
Not
right?
in the beginning, right?
In the beginning, you were
stay. Listen,
I need to pay my bills.
But now, I mean, I think people respect that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
people can smell when you're desperate for them to
Exactly.
that you need them in your business.
So you've had the uncomfortable conversations with some clients where you didn't necessarily break up with them, but you said, look, listen, it's not you, it's me. Or I just don't think
honest, in consultation sessions where I've observed this person is an energy vampire.
Yeah.
And the way that they're treating me, and I saw that the way they treated the front desk guy at the gym was not okay. Like, this person is going to cause problems.
Yeah.
I give them an hourly rate that I am totally okay with putting up with their behavior.
Okay.
And I say, these are the prices of my sessions. The same prices that we were discussing in the beginning, right? Like the $300 to $500 range. I'll be like, $350 an hour. And if that person says, okay, then we'll be working together. If not, I am not willing to be in a room with you.
Maybe we should cut this part out, right?
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, energy vampires are, you know, if you can avoid them.
Yeah.
I mean, once you have built a book and you're feeling confident, you kind of get, you learn how to get leads. You don't have to work with clients that you can't stand.
Yeah.
anymore.
Because I think at the end of the day, it also reflects on whether you're good at what you do, because you could be the best at what you do, but if someone's coming in and they're not being receptive to what it is that you're providing them, it's reflective on your end, right? Like your business suffers because you're not getting them results.
Yes.
So it's like, I have to reassess. I understand you might want to buy a package of sessions. You want to buy a package of 20 or 30. Like, that's awesome. But I just don't see this going anywhere. And unfortunately, we're in that, we are put into that position, but it has to be done.
Yes.
And I want to give you an example here, and I'm curious of how you would approach this. Somebody comes in and you were highly recommended to them. Like they found out how amazing you were and you can get these awesome results. And they'll come in and like, hey, listen, I just had 8 surgeries in the last 6 months. Everything hurts, but I expect to get this amount of muscle, lose this amount of weight. Oh, and by the way, I can't do this and this and this and this exercise because I will be getting another surgery. But let's get to work. Like, what are we doing?
Well, you have to, part of being a good personal trainer and a good physical therapist is being able to manage client expectations.
Exactly.
And the thing with personal training and fitness is that, there's a spectrum of how far you can take training and fitness with certain clients. There's clients that I have really big goals. Right. There's other clients that aren't as motivated to, run a marathon in under 3 hours or squat 315 pounds 10 times. Being able to manage client expectations is extremely important because you have people like having a 6-pack, like it sounds like a great thing to aspire to.
Yeah.
But the sacrifice that comes with it, why do you think there's so few people with a 6-pack? Like, you got to eat food that you don't want to eat.
Right.
You got to eat much less of it too. And then when you're tired, you have to lift heavy weights still.
Right.
Like, do you still want to do this?
That's
maybe
tough.
Yes, that's your choice. But I can't if you're going to come in twice a week and I'm like, here are the macro, like, this is what you should be doing when you're not with me.
Yeah.
Because you and I are together for 2 hours. And there's a lot more hours in the week that you're not with me. So if you don't follow this protocol that is in the app that I put there for you, you will fail.
It's almost
there's
like
nothing I can do
exactly
about that.
Like you spend the 1 hour with them during the day, and the other 23 hours you can't account for what they're doing, right? So there's only so much that you can control for.
Yeah.
So it ends up being on them. Now, with that, do you feel like your training philosophy has changed over the years? Like learning.
I think that my training philosophy is I'm all about finding. So when you go online or just, it's very common in, personal training and physical therapy to hear people talk about this is the most optimal exercise to target your glutes. So if you have somebody who comes in to meet with you and they want bigger glutes, but they're kind of new to fitness and you make them do, 4 sets of Bulgarian split squats, 8 reps, like pushing them till failure.
Yeah.
But they hated it.
Yeah.
And they start canceling sessions because they are dreading
but
the way that they're going to feel when they come in. Then you didn't choose the most optimal thing, because what's more optimal than the most optimal exercise is consistency.
Yes.
Because if you're not consistent, none of it's optimal.
Yeah.
So I'm all about finding variations of what my clients need that they tolerate the best and that they want to continue coming in to see me. Right.
That right there.
Want to keep seeing me.
That right there is where you put the person and personal trainer.
Yes.
Because you're adapting to their needs and what they like or how they approach things. You're kind of meeting them halfway, but at the same time, you're still giving them what they need.
Yes.
So I think we covered a bunch. And I mean, honestly, like I feel like if we had more time, we'd probably go over several other topics. If there's one takeaway from everything we discussed today that you'd want to share, what would it be?
Takeaway from our conversation today? That, well, first of all, it's really nice that I'm sitting in this room with you. I respect the business that you've built.
Thank you, man.
And it's kind of great to see us sitting here talking about the successes that we've had, because we are both relatively, we're both 2 young guys who have started newer businesses in the past within, 5 years. And I think it's just incredible, the success that we've had with the work ethic and the way that we have been, just our mindset with personal training and being patient and being client focused and not trying to rush the process and do what's cool for social media. So I think it's been nice talking to you about just like the real stuff of what it actually takes to one, be, in business in the city and provide a good service as well.
It's not, and I really appreciate that, man. And it's not the perfect picture that many people might think, right? Where you start your business and everything is just going your way. And it's really not. You learn so much and you approach so many things that you never expected. But I think at the end of it all, you become a better person. It gives you more drive, more motivation. And I know I'll wake up any time of the day, whether if it's 4 a.m. or 5 a.m., which for me is still pretty early, but I look forward to my day. Yeah. I look for, because I get to go to the gym, I get to work out, I get to work with clients. Every day is a different day. Every day is a different challenge. And I feel like I'm a relatively good problem solver. So I'm excited for my own potential at the end of the day. And I feel like that there's nothing better than that.
Of course.
Dude, where can people find you? How can people be a part of Barbells Over Bottles?
So McClain Personal Training is my Instagram handle. McClainPersonalTraining.com is where you can sign up for a consultation session. And Barbells Over Bottles is on McClainPersonalTraining.com and on Instagram as Barbells Over Bottles.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for having me.